It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I had to discuss this co-main event that took place because it really blew me away what we saw from Robson Conceicao in his performance against Emanuel Navarrete. Because, to be honest, on paper, when I looked at this fight and when I was viewing tape, I thought Navarrete was going to be able to eventually break down Robson Conceicao and get a stoppage. But, you know, I got to be honest. Robson Conceicao, he did not get a decision. I thought he won this. I thought he won this fight. I do think that he was robbed. I am crying robbery. I do think he was blatantly robbed of a become world champion again. Because it happened in the Valdez fight. But it's kind of crazy, right? Because with Conceicao, when people try to justify Valdez beating him, the first thing they said was, "Oh well, he didn't do enough in the back half of the fight. He was on his back foot too much." So then in this fight, he fights arguably the best volume puncher in the sport, and out volume punches one of the best volume punchers in the sport, doubles him in punches landed, and now they say, "Oh well, no, it's he didn't land enough significant shots, but he doubled him in punches landed." So all I'm getting from the boxing industry and people in general, especially the boxing industry, more importantly the boxing industry and the judges and everything, it's like okay, he's 35 years old, he's from Brazil, we can't make no money off of that, so we'll just give it to Vaquero. That's how I'm viewing it, because it was a great fight. I did enjoy it. I do think Vaquero Navarrete, even in a down performance, he did show why he's still one of the best fighters out there. Very crafty body puncher. I mean, some of these body shots that he landed on Conceicao were so subtle, so crafty, so educated that sometimes you got to really slow the tape down to fully see the beauty of what he's doing in the ring. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I thought Conceicao for the majority of the fight, he put Emanuel Navarrete on his back foot, and because he put him on his back foot, Navarrete was not able to, as much as he wanted to, come forward and throw those the large amount of punches, like throw those volume punches. So he wasn't in rhythm as much as he probably would have wanted to be for this fight, because Conceicao would not let him get into rhythm. And I saw Conceicao many times in the pocket making a miss, going to the body, throwing a very beautiful, educated lead straight right hand. And he just did a lot of great things in this fight. So I'm not going to have ESPN, I'm not going to have the propaganda of Top Rank, fool me out of what I saw with my 4 eyes and these bifocals. Robson Conceicao defeated Emanuel Navarrete, and he's a perfect example. Robson Conceicao, he's a perfect example of a belt don't make you champion. Sometimes the belt don't make you champion, because this is a guy that really should have got the decision against Valdez, and he should have got the decision against Navarrete, at least in one of the fights. You don't got to think he won both those fights, but he deserved at least one of those decisions. And, for him at 35 years old to be fighting Vaquero Navarrete at the peak of his powers, with what he's doing in the sport, knowing that this is his last, probably hoorah, his last title shot, that he's gonna get. A lot of times in boxing, we criticize fighters when they don't give every last bit of themselves. But here we have a guy, Robson Conceicao. He gave every last bit of his soul. He gave every last fiber of his being. There's not much more he could have gave to win that fight, and he more than did enough to win that fight. And the fact that he didn't win that fight, it just goes to show you that they really don't care about Robson Conceicao, and they want to keep Navarrete. They want to keep him in the fold because they want him to have the belt, because they just signed O'Shaquie Foster, and O'Shaquie Foster versus Navarrete is a more marketable fight than O'Shaquie Foster versus Robson Conceicao, and that's why he got the decision. So it is what it is. But look, for me, I look at that fight performance from Robson Conceicao, not in terms of maybe I don't think it wasn't like Inoue Fulton or anything like that, or Crawford Spence, but in my eyes, it is a legendary performance. Because of the fact that, you look at his age, look at 35 years old, you look at what he's been through in boxing, you look at the fact that, you had to think to yourself, with the heartbreaking loss to Valdez, losing to Shakur Stevenson, getting punched in his dick repeatedly. You know, he could have came in here and just laid down and not given his best efforts, but no. And you know what he could have did too? He could have just said, you know what, I'm just going to, you know, move around the ring and I'm going to, you know, fight the fight that I feel works best for me. Right? And it probably would have got him hurt more because then he would have allowed Navarrete to cut the distance off on him and he probably would have got beat up more. But he fought like a guy who knew that this was it. He knew that this was his last hurrah. He knew that he had to give all of himself to give himself the best chance to win this fight. And for the most part, I know there's people that think Navarrete won the fight because when I was live, I remember people saying that he won the fight, but the majority of the boxing world believes Robson Conceicao won the fight. And Emanuel Navarrete, you know, in a lot of ways, he got exposed. Facts. He might have got exposed this fight. You know, good fighter, hell of a fighter, one of the best in the sport, great fight. But you know, I think Conceicao, in a sense, has laid a bit of the blueprint, which is the fact that, number one, you got to be insanely well conditioned to even have a chance to go the distance with him. That's number one. And then you need to be able to consistently put him on his back foot. So he did expose kind of a way to beat him, because that's what you need to do. You need to put Emanuel Navarrete on the back foot so you can prevent him and limit him from coming forward and landing them body shots and hitting you with 6 punches from weird angles. And that's what you got to do. But honestly, from now on, whenever there's fighters in the future that are like 35 or 33, or, you know, just when we know it's going to be the last title shot, I'm going to use this fight as a reference. Like, look, y'all got to be like Robson Conceicao. This guy was 35. He fought one of the best volume punchers in the sport, and he beat him at his own game. He beat him at his own. That's the reality. Any talk of, oh, he didn't land enough significant shots is bullshit, because that only matters when the amount of punches landed is somewhere in the same ballpark. They didn't land the same amount of punches. Conceicao significantly outlanded Emanuel Navarrete. So I don't want to hear any of that. Yeah, he got a couple knockdowns. Yeah, he showed why he's still one of the best body punchers in the sport. I'm not taking nothing from Emanuel. Emanuel's a great fighter. But how great is Robson Conceicao to out-volume, arguably, the best volume puncher we have in the sport today? Put some respect on that man's name from Brazil, because he's gotten shafted not once but twice against Mexican top-ranked fighters, and that's just how it is. Some fighters, they don't get the benefits of having politics on their side or the bureaucracy of boxing favor them, and that's okay, because that's how life is. So not all of us get dealt with the best hand. Not all of us get a chance to be born into, you know, the best of circumstances. But with our determination and with the determination of Robson Conceicao, you can make something of yourself, and he's made something of himself, and I recognize him as champion. It don't matter if he ever fight again. In my eyes, he's a champion for life. So great fight. As far as Emanuel, I'm thinking that they're gonna look, Top Rank's gonna look to make him versus O'Shaquie Foster at some point next year, and that'd be a cool little that'd be a fun fight. Or they might just do this rematch, and you know, and that Conceicao probably can't give no more of himself. He gave all he could in that fight, so maybe they make the rematch and Emanuel probably beats him up in the rematch, you know. But either way you cut it up, slice it and dice it, Conceicao, that was a great performance. That's what giving, when you talk about giving your 150% best efforts, that's what it looks like, what Conceicao did against Emanuel. So those are my thoughts on the fight. Y'all can leave yours down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.